most important part is to just get started, and you don't want to strive for perfection. And why is that? Because perfection does not exist. Let's talk about perfection. I want to talk about perfection because it is something that I think keeps a lot of people stuck. And once you try to define perfection, then you can see that it actually doesn't even exist. And my hope is that that will take some pressure off and help people, listeners, to just get started, because getting started is the hardest part. And what is it that keeps us from getting started on working toward the bigger goal, overcoming a bigger challenge that we have? One, that it's going to maybe be difficult, and two, I think the bigger thing is that we don't really know what the outcome is going to be. It might not be perfect. It might be painful. Okay, so let's first define perfection. I've shared this many times before. I'll share it again. As a writer, I absolutely love words, and I always learn something new when I look up their definition, even when I already know the meaning. It just helps to break things down a little bit more clearly, and it makes you think the action of looking a word up, even when you already know the definition. It makes you take action, first of all, and it also brings you present, and it just helps you open your mind a little bit. And it's also part of another topic that I like to talk about a lot, which is curiosity. So the more curious that you get about things, the deeper understanding you're going to have. And awareness is what creates change. You have to first understand that you have a goal. You have to acknowledge the goal. You have to first understand that you have a challenge that you want to overcome. That's the first step. Okay, so when it comes to being stuck, feeling stuck, not taking action, what does that due to? Well, a lot of times it could be due to fear of not being perfect. So let's define, what is it exactly that we're afraid of? So I looked up the definition of perfection, and it is the condition, state, or quality of being free of, or as free as possible of, defects. That is what is written by definition if you do a Google search. And the thing that really stuck out to me, the part that stuck out to me, is as free as possible of defects. So what does that tell you? It tells you that you can't actually define perfection. So if you can't define something, I'm thinking it's not even real. And if something isn't real, in other words, another thing that isn't real is fear, well then there's no need for us to hold us back. So okay, cool. All right, so if you are a perfectionist, that can, it's good. It's a positive thing to continue to improve, to continue to strive to do better. But that is what you want to be striving for, is improving. When I was a kid, my trophy was always most improved. And I remember as a kid hating it, because I just felt like it meant, well, I wasn't very good, and now I'm like better than I was, but I'm still not, very good. But it was such a good quality and success habit that I was starting as a kid and I didn't even realize, of course, what I was doing at the time, that I was locking in this success habit of continuing to try to improve. So you get knocked down, you get back up again. It never got me, I think I never really looked at not being, perfect, not mastering something on my first try as a failure as a kid. I just had the attitude somehow naturally to just get up and try again. So you can take and apply that as well, get rid of the idea of perfection and instead choose the idea of improving. That is what you want to be going after. So, okay, so first, so if you're no longer striving to be perfect, then perfection cannot hold you back. It cannot keep you stuck. So then what do you have to do? You just have to get started. So what do you do when you want to get started, but you don't yet know the first steps, or maybe you don't know how to do something? How do you get started? How do you take the first step? Sometimes there is what I like to call a loophole. Right? So I'll give you guys an example. When I was ready to start making videos, I didn't yet know how to use Final Cut Pro, and I wasn't ready yet to dive in and figure that out. Sometimes what can hold me back a little bit or cause me to procrastinate a little bit is that I know something is going to be challenging for my brain. I got to learn something new, and I'm going to have to sit and focus on it. And it's going to be a brain challenge. Now, I like brain challenges, and I've implemented this practice so much that I've gotten a lot better at just getting started. So I want to help you guys with that too. And we're all going to have different things that can maybe hold us back from getting started, from taking action. So, of course, you want to acknowledge your goal. You want to write it down. You want to write down your goal, and then you want to take action. But if, figure out whatever's holding you back. And then the first step is to just get started. So back to the loophole thing. So I knew that I needed to take some time to sit down and learn Final Cut Pro, but it was kind of hanging over my head as this kind of colossal project that I was going to need to do, because I know what I'm good at. I know, what I'm not good at. But anyhow, I found, I guess in my research, I came across this app. It's called Magisto, like magic, but Magisto, where it edits the video for you. So I found a loophole. I'm like, I'll just try this first. And so I was able to start posting videos without teaching myself how to edit until I was ready to do that. It's this, you download the app, you pay for it, and you shoot your video, and then it just like cuts little pieces and puts it together. And I was like, okay, cool. So I found a little loophole, and that was important because it got me started. It got me to take the first step. So I do that a lot, I notice, where I'll find a loophole. So I also, there's another app that I'm using for video editing, and I wasn't sure how to edit in the app. And then I realized, I can just download the recording to Final Cut Pro, cut it there, edit it there, and then I can upload it into this other app that I'm using. I can also edit in the app. I don't mean to get too convoluted here, but my point is I could not get started because I don't yet know how to do that, or I could find a loophole. I'll just do it this way until I learn, until I either figure out or I'm ready to sit down and teach myself the other way. So the most important part is to just get started, and you don't want to strive for perfection. And why is that? Because perfection does not exist. If you have an idea, you have that idea for a reason. If you have a goal, something that you're curious about, something that you're excited about, that idea was put in your brain for a reason. It is your responsibility to act on it. And you're never going to be perfect. You're going to get better. You're going to improve. And yeah, it's totally natural to be a little bit nervous or a little bit scared the first time, just because it's new. Yes, we want to be really good, but how are you going to get good? How are you going to get better? By improving. And you're going to improve with practice. So you want to just forget all about perfection. Yes, always strive to be better. I'm not a perfectionist. I kind of am with my writing. Writing's really important to me, and it's something I really enjoy, and I love the process of revising. But I understand it's not going to be perfect when the first thing that I write, the first draft, I mean to say. So the most important part with writing is to just get your ideas on the page. You don't want to go back and start rewriting, revising, trying to make it perfect without first getting the full draft on the page, because then you're never going to get done. So I never worry about it being perfect, and I will edit when I write a book. 2 so far, more to come. I edit each book 10 times. That's my goal for myself. And then once I go back and start reading it, immediately I start rewriting it in my head. But you got to just finish it at some point, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Why? Because it can't be, because there will always be room for improvement. So perfection does not exist. Instead, strive for improvement and persevere, and you will get better and better and better. And most importantly, you will get started. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video and got some value, I invite you to like and subscribe, share the content, and I'll see you in the next one.